Most people only have a single definition of what they think of when they hear sound investment advice. You work hard, you try to figure out what's going on in the economy, business conditions, research companies carefully, and making decisions based on that careful research. And if you don't do it, you find somebody who does it for a living and hire them to do it. So the central theme, the opening part of my talk is, there's an entirely different definition of optimal investment advice. And it didn't come from the usual sources, the brokerage firms, the banks, the insurance companies. It came from the halls of academia. Well, I would argue this alternative version of advice, rather than based on a series of predictions about the future, it's based on evidence. Evidence from the past on how capital markets have worked, not just in this country, but all around the world. In a very real sense, we are harnessing the wisdom and experience of millions of other market participants all around the world and putting those forces to work on our behalf. We'd all love to be able to go down there and find shares in some fabulous business, fast-growing, high profits, somehow available just to us at a bargain basement price. I call this the Rembrandt garage sale illusion. Now, is it possible that you could drive all over greater Chicago one Sunday afternoon, going to one garage sale after another, trying to find that Rembrandt for sale on the sidewalk for $50? There might be one out there. Maybe the nephew's cleaning out grandma's attic and doesn't know it's a valuable painting. Or more precisely, it's not worth your time and effort driving all over every city every Sunday afternoon, hoping to find a Rembrandt at a garage sale at a bargain basement price. That becomes a very liberating and empowering concept. I don't have to worry every day that I might get the wrong price. Somebody out there is scheming to take advantage of me. I can just buy a diversified portfolio and focus on something else in my life. People like Professor Jensen, pictured here, began to conduct what we call performance studies. Let's examine the record of all the money managers, and let's see how they do. So Dr. Jensen gathered together all the data on every available U.S. equity mutual fund at that time, looked at their results over a 20-year period, and he compared the results of all these hard-working managers to a simple, and some would say hopelessly naive, alternative investment strategy. I call it the Rip Van Winkle investment approach. You're Rip Van Winkle. It's 1945 in this example, and you buy every stock in America. You do no research whatsoever. Buy every company from A to Z. You're done, take a long nap. Dr. Jensen compared that result to the results of all these fund managers, and what did he find? He found little evidence that any individual manager could do better than this Rip Van Winkle approach by a greater degree than we expect just by random chance. We describe these principles to investors or potential investors. Their response is, why didn't somebody explain this to me 20 years ago? It makes so much sense and I would have been so much better off. So we often feel like we're on a bit of an educational mission here to help investors understand some simple but very powerful forces. And they can put all these powerful forces to work on their behalf. And one final observation from our founder, David Booth: the most important thing about investment philosophy is that you have one. We saw too many people in the midst of the financial crisis in 2008 and 2009 who discovered they didn't have an investment philosophy that they could understand, that they could articulate, that they could believe in. And in the absence of a clearly defined philosophy, I think the evidence shows that investors are likely to get easily derailed from achieving their long-run goals. Just like most professional golfers, tennis players, they're great at what they do. They all have a coach to help them stay on track, identify little problems that may creep in, constantly improving their game. Most investors can benefit from having an objective third-party source of advice.